Hello and welcome to our darkroom. Before we get started in our exposure and screen preparation process, I wanted to give you guys a quick tour of our darkroom, show you the different components involved in a darkroom, maybe give you some ideas to how to set your darkroom up yourself. First of all, we have our exposure unit and our exposure table. The exposure unit just sits on the table. It's a tabletop exposure unit. We have some table space here to coat screens on and set films up on jobs when ready to expose them. Then we have our screen library rack. This is where we store old screens, new screens that are coated and degreased, and people that want to save their jobs, we just put them up and categorize them on that rack. Then we have our drying rack right here. This also will have a black sheet over it, so if we're in a light lit environment like we are right now, we can keep this light safe while the rest of the room is lit up. This holds 16 screens. It's for drying screens and for keeping exposed screens or unexposed light safe. Now we have our pressure washer. Now this pressure washer is just a small table mount pressure washer. It's 1500 psi. We recommend you guys getting maybe between 1000 and 1500 psi pressure washer. We picked this one up at Home Depot for about $99. So you don't have to go out and splurge on a huge, very expensive pressure washer. It's just a small electric pressure washer that we mounted to our wall and ran some hose into this room to run it. Next over here, we have our washout sink. Now this particular washout sink is a fairly large one. It also is backlit so we can see what we're doing when we're washing our screens out. This holds up to 2 screens at a time, one side there. We can wash our screens out, degrease our screens, dehaze our screens. All the screen washing process is done in this wash sink. Finally over here we have our dip tank. Now our dip tank is used for reclaiming screens in a mass quantity. Like instead of having to go, and we'll show you later in this process how to reclaim a screen one at a time, we simply put them in the dip tank, pull them out. They sit in the dip tank for about 5 minutes. We pull them out and then we wash them out and then degrease them. It makes the process a lot easier. Alright, now that we showed you the darkroom, we're going to go ahead and get started in this process. At this point in the video, we're going to discuss one of the most important parts of the screen printing process, and that is setting up your darkroom for screen exposure, washing your screens out, and then we'll also talk about screen preparation and then reclaiming screens. First of all, a darkroom needs to be 100% light free of any UV rays. UV rays are your basic like fluorescent light bulbs. They're sunlight coming in from a window, a normal house light bulb. You want your darkroom to be set up so that it does not have any of that light coming in. So basically you're going to want to set a darkroom up. You can use a room that has windows in it, but if a room has windows in it, you're going to want to put some kind of curtains over the windows, a black trash bag. We have this product called Ulano Amberlith, and Amberlith's like a red film that you just tape over your windows, and that blocks all the UV rays out, but it still lets light in. Then once your room's 100% UV ray light free, you're going to want to get yourself a standard light safe bulb. Now a light safe bulb is a normal bulb that has a yellow filament over it that blocks out all UV rays. They're basically like bug lights. We sell them on our website. You can also go down and buy them at Home Depot or Lowe's. You want it between a 40 watt and a 60 watt bug light, and you can either plug this into your light fixture up on top, or you can plug it into like maybe a little desk lamp like that you can turn on and off like so. You basically want your room to only have this light or light coming in from a filtered window with the Amberlith over it so that no UV rays are coming in your room. The reason we want to block out the UV rays is because the screen exposure process is light sensitive. When you put emulsion or film on the screen, you can't have any UV rays getting exposed to that until you actually expose your screen with your light source. Your light source is very, very high UV ray content, so when you expose your screens, that's when the UV rays are supposed to hit them. But if they're drying and UV rays are hitting them, or if you're taking them outside to try to wash them out in the sunlight, UV rays will hit them then. Or if you're leaving them in a lit room or opening a door, that's going to damage your screen before you go to expose it, and your images aren't going to come out very good. So, now that we've talked about that, we're going to go over the chemical starter kit. The chemical starter kit pretty much has everything in it that you need to get started. I'm going to basically go through that kit, pull products out, and I'll explain each product and what it does. First thing that we're going to pull out is your scrub brushes. Now your scrub brushes, there's 3 of them in a kit. You're going to want usually 3 of them at least. One is for degreasing of screens, one is for reclaiming of screens, and then one is for using a liquid renew-it or using a dehazer. Now you're going to want to take a magic marker and you're going to want to mark, degreaser, dehazer, and then reclaimer. And you don't want to mix these up, so you will always want to keep these separate, because if you mix these up, they're going to cross-contaminate with different chemicals, and they could hurt your screens and not work as well. So you always want to keep these separate. You always want to keep them washed down after you're done using them. So these are very important to have in your screen reclaiming and preparation process. ER80, it is super concentrate emulsion remover. Basically this bottle here mixes with 1 gallon of water, so you're going to want to get an empty gallon jug, dump this bottle in, and then fill the rest of the jug with water. Now this is just this particular kind of emulsion remover. Not all of them are mixing to that ratio. This is just a super concentrate one. We have also other ones that mix 4:1 to water that may work a little bit better, but this one works really good and just basically is for reclaiming your screens once you're done and need to put a new image on a screen. This purple or dark red product is called Neutralize. This is your screen degreaser. This is what you use before you start your screen printing process. You always want to degrease your screens to get all the contaminants, all the dust. People handle them, like in our factory when we go ship out a screen, the workers are handling the screens, they're getting all their grease from their fingertips. The screen manufacturer is the same way, dust from a shop. You always want to start out degreasing. Also, when you're reclaimed a job and you're going to put some a new design on the screen, you're going to want to degrease that as well. So this is very, very important. This product can either be used concentrate form or it can be mixed up to 3:1 with water. We probably suggest using it in concentrate form. That way you get the most results, the best results out of your screen degreaser. Basically, you can take this and you just put it in a spray bottle, or put a spray bottle right into this. You can screw right down in the cap and just spray your screens out, and then you want to use your degreasing brush to scrub the degreaser around and work it into the screen. Now don't be afraid if you don't understand any of this, because we're going to go and demonstrate this all later. Now Liquid Renew-it is a dehazer. It's a very friendly dehazer. Dehazers take old ghost images, like if you printed ink through a screen, the ink's going to stain the screen. It's going to leave a ghost image or a haze in that screen. And the dehazer is rubbed on and then let sit for a while, and then it's washed off, and that will actually bleach the screen out. This is your Screen Wash 147. Now, some people get this confused with your emulsion remover because it says Screen Wash, but most of your screen washes and your press washes are actually used to take ink off the screen when you're cleaning your screens. It's a very, very friendly product to use. It smells like a citrus base. It smells like pretty much any household cleaner, and actually you just take this, put it on a paper towel or a throwaway rag, and clean off your ink from your screen, and before you're either reclaiming them or if you're saving screens for other jobs. Most of our chemical starter kits just come with a chemical resistant spray bottle. The spray bottle is just, you can use, I'd recommend getting a couple of them, one for your emulsion remover, one for your screen degreaser, one for your Liquid Renew-it. You also want to get a maybe more heavy duty spray bottles so that the chemicals don't break down the seals and stuff in the spray bottles. This product is called Red Coat Blockout. Basically, this is used to block out those pinholes that you get in your screens. Like if you have any dust on your exposure unit or any specks in your film that you don't want there, this can actually come, and you can take this with a little paintbrush. You can dap out those specks on your screen, and this dries, and that will keep those screens. You can also use this to block out your registration marks if you want to. These two containers are just an industrial grade hand cleaner. They work really well for getting emulsion off your hands, getting ink off your hands. They're a great product to have in your shop for your employees or for yourself.